I'm in very, very good form now because one of my favourite people has landed in front of me to the top of the tower. She swam from Canada over the last 48 grueling hours. Our guest today is one of my all-time favourite authors. 18 million books later, the great Louise Penny has landed here with her 20th book. It's called The Black Wolf. I finished it this morning over coffee. It features all our beloved characters led by the inimitable and wonderful Chief Inspector Gamache. If you don't know this yet, please listen in and you'll understand everything. Her books are both a hug and a shove, but she is a joy. Welcome, Louise Penny. Nice to see you.
All right. Now, would Claire mind if I said I love you?
No. Well, she wouldn't because it's mutual and we all love you in our house, so we're just huge fans. It's lovely to see you again.
It's great to see you. It's great to be here and to see you in person, because the last time I think we did a conversation, it was over the phone, I believe.
Yeah, there was one on the phone. There was one with you and Hillary Clinton for your book together. Then we met in
Iceland.
Reykjavik at the Iceland.
Right.
We meet in the most peculiar places.
Yeah, that was a tough swim.
And cold.
And cold.
Glacial.
Yeah.
Louise, congratulations on 20th, book 20. It's just
20.
remarkable. One a year.
1 year. In fact, this is, as you just said, the 20th anniversary of the first book coming out. And that's astonishing. Yeah. I didn't think the first book would be published. Now we're 20 years in.
I'll come back to that because you are a lesson for those listening and who want to write and who think I'm past it or I can't do it or I'll never do it. So we'll come back to that in a second. I want to celebrate The Black Wolf for today before we go too much further. And by doing that, I need you to tell us, just for the uninitiated, just a little bit about 3 pounds, Inspector Gamache, just by way of a ladybird guide to who they are, and then we can get stuck in.
Well, as you said, this is the 20th book. That's all a series. I think of it actually as one book with 20 chapters, although unlike a book with 20 chapters, you can actually dip in where you want.
Yes.
Probably best to start at the beginning, but you don't have to.
I tell everyone they should because it's easy and it's a joy.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a pyramid scheme, so that's good.
It works.
You got meat on the table tonight if you start at the beginning, 20 books. But I mean, clearly with The Black Wolf, you have to be able to take that, buy that first, and if you like it, you go back. They're set in a small village in Quebec, close to the Vermont border, and it features Armand Gamache, who is the head of homicide for the Sûreté de Québec. When I first, and then I'll get back to the thing, but when I first started shopping around the first book, which is Still Life, I nobody wanted it. And in fact, I didn't even hear rejections. I heard silence, which was heartbreaking. But one of the things that did come back to me a few times was nobody would be interested in a crime novel set in Canada.
Wow, isn't that extraordinary?
What do you say to that?
Well, I say, what do I say? 18 million books later, I say, somebody in Decca Records turned down the Beatles.
Yes.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Some poor fool. And actually a number of poor fools turned down the Beatles here.
Yes, it was very satisfying to run
say,
into those poor fools. Yes.
Do you meet them on occasion?
Sometimes, and to be fair, most of them have. With cap in hand.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
I ignore them. Don't make direct eye contact. Walk directly by.
Yeah, keep on going.
Keep on
walk on
talk
by,
to the hand.
as the song says.
Yes, walk on by.
But they're beautiful books because
Thank you.
The amount. I was talking to actually it was Claire's friend who was saying that when she was on maternity leave, she read every single one of them and said that she's pregnant again, this particular person, and said, please tell Louise to start writing fast. So I want another 20 for the next mat leave. So these are the kind of comments I always say to people, if you're busy, if your life is chaotic, this is the perfect series to have in your, like I was saying to you in Dispatches that when I was on the train, I groaned when we arrived at my stop because I just find them such page turning, but there's a kindness, there's a heart to them, there's poetry, but it's worn lightly. Do you know what I mean? It's not too much of anything.
Yes, thank you. I'm really a big fan of Hitchcock's.
Oh yeah, same.
I couldn't tell you what I think Rope might be my favorite.
Rope is great. And
hardly anyone knows Rope.
Yeah, and it's the two
single shot.
A single shot. You have it in one. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But what he knew and what I try to achieve, and I think to varying degrees I'm successful, sometimes not so much, but he knew that the closed door is far more frightening than the open door. And so that's what I try to do. My books aren't, well, they're very proudly crime novels and clearly crime novels. they're not really about the blood. They're about the marrow. They're about what it's like to be human. The crime is the Trojan horse that allows me to look at all sorts of other issues, as do other. I'm not alone in that.
Yes.
Other crime novelists do the same thing. But really, to write, I do one thing. I write a book a year. That's all. I don't write short stories. I don't do anything else. I eat eclairs and I write my books. But to spend an entire year writing about murder would not interest me.
Yes.
It has to be about something else.
Human nature, the foibles, that's what it is.
And the issues of courage, the issues of loneliness, the issues of home. These are different themes.
A lot of fear
jealousy.
of loneliness, and fear of heights, fear of claustrophobia, fear of having a relationship, whatever it might be. It's all there.
Yeah. And there's a few lines. You talked about poetry, and there's a few lines from Auden's poem to Melville, and it's a couplet, and it starts off by saying, "Goodness existed, that was the new knowledge. His terror had to blow itself quite out to let him see it." Yeah. So the books are about terror, absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're also about goodness.
And the goodness pervades and pretty much wins, but that's the lovely link, the thread that binds them all together.
But there's also a knock-on effect from the terrible things that do happen. It's not like, and I'm a big fan of Agatha Christie, but
it's it's a different level and a different league for different reasons, and it's also not cozy. I think that's an important thing to say. This is not a cozy crime situation. People say, and they're great books too, but this is not. It's not. There's too much edge to this.
Bless you.
For it
I
to be.
do love
but
you.
No, but I'm only telling you the truth.
Lock the door.
Lock the door.
Claire, you're out of luck.
This is great. I'm having the time of my life. I'm only halfway through the interview. Let's take some music and get some coffee in here. In this book, it's part 2 of a 2-part. It's very unlike you to do that, but you did that.
Yeah.
And here we are with the Black Wolf from the Grey Wolf, and we have Canada, maybe under threat, maybe not under threat from America. You couldn't make it up, and then yet you didn't have to make it up because it happened. But you had this written before Donald Trump started referring to Canada as the 51st state. Governor
as you
Trudeau.
Said, it's two halves of a whole. So there's the Grey Wolf, and then this is the second half, which is, as you say, very unlike me. Yeah. You have to keep pushing a little bit and challenging yourself.
Idea. Yeah, I love it.
Because you don't want to be writing the same book over and over by mistake. Often you become formulaic. So I decided to challenge myself with this. So I designed it about 3 years ago, finished writing it a year ago, and one of the themes in it is what happens if certain elements within both countries, Canada and the United States, decide that Canada should become the 51st state. And it doesn't happen out of the blue. There is a march of some rational thinking that gets us there, having to do with resources and how much Canada has and how little the United States is running out, which is all true. So then I explored the idea of Canada as the 51st state, and I thought when I wrote that I would.
You thought
have I gone too far?
Yeah, mildly preposterous idea.
Yeah, have I jumped the shark? What are my editors going to say? And then, lo and behold, some nut job decides to say it for real.
I mean, it is extraordinary. And then
it is. It was disconcerting on a personal level, of course. But
politically in Canada, is that what you're saying?
It was very upsetting.
Yeah. Was it really?
And remains so because you don't know how wacky he is. Is this likely to actually happen? But from as an author. It was also disconcerting because I didn't know whether people would think that I had just followed the headlines and was trying to make entertainment out of something quite serious, quite threatening to Canada.
Yeah, and it's also, there's a kind of a love letter to the environment in there without being too heavy-handed either, which I thought was nice because you don't want to scare people off to be preaching or anything like that, which you don't.
No.
But it does, there is a sort of sense of steady now.
Yeah.
Steady.
And everything that I write about, I've researched, and so it might seem, she's pushing it, but it actually, the UN warnings are out there. The warnings are out there, but yes, you want to do it so that it's also fun and interesting and compelling.
I'm thinking, was Joni Mitchell Canadian, or is she
Yes.
Canadian? Because I keep thinking of Big Yellow Taxi. You don't realise what you got. I mean, that's an environmentally friendly song, isn't it? And
Yes.
ahead of its time, like yourself. Okay, Sue is in Suffolk. She said, I'm so excited that Louise is on your show today. I've read all 19 of the Gamache mysteries, now digging to 20. I love the warmth of the characters and how they have developed. The plots are so engaging. Such a good read. Linda says, really enjoying her interview with Louise. I've read the first 18 in the series. Currently doling out the Grey Wolf to myself while the angry red cover of the Black Wolf taunts me to hurry up and get to it. Gorgeous writer. Here's another from Teresa who says, I bought the first in the Inspector Gamache series on your recommendation. I'm now on book 3. Love the thought that I've got 17 books to go. Please thank Louise for her amazing work. And so that's just a flavour of what's coming.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. That means a lot. It's a scary time, as you know, when a new book comes out.
Yeah.
And you're never sure because it's like walking around inside out.
Yeah.
And to have you and to have your listeners say such lovely things, that means a lot to me.
I think that the reading world is quite well. I think it's healthy. Every time I'm on the train, I see books everywhere, and it's really heartening to see that.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
Are
good
you a
news.
fast reader?
I'm with your. I know this sounds like I'm fanboying, but I'm with your
That's
books.
okay.
I read your books really fast because I can't stop reading them. Like that's what I meant about groaning when when the train arrived at the station, because I'm going, I don't want this to end. And so with you, yes. With others, it depends on the book in my hand. To be honest with you, but I'm not a speed reader. I don't do that scanning thing.
Do you ever reread?
No, I haven't done that.
You see, you have so many books that you need to read.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you for articulating what I couldn't do myself. What I want to reread, and I'm talking to my youngest who's 20, nearly 21, and I want to buy her a copy for Christmas, and I think I might reread it myself after this book because it got me right back into it, is Animal Farm, which I loved.
Right.
Yeah, and
Animal
maybe
Farm.
1984.
Napoleon is always right.
Napoleon
How
is
terrifying.
terrifying.
And how appropriate for this day and age.
Yeah.
Napoleon is always right. Look it up. I had to look it up actually, because it's about manipulation. It's about propaganda.
Squealer.
It's about yes,
Yeah, I remember
exactly.
Squealer. And actually, at one stage, you were describing Gamache, Inspector Gamache, as being sort of a bit broken down. I was thinking boxer, you know, and the horse. And I was thinking, there's a lovely paean to that, but also 1984. I mean, there's Orwell features.
Oh yeah,
by the by in this book.
the Ministry of Truth that deals in lies, and you can't help but think of Truth Social.
Yeah. Here we go again. He's everywhere, really. But you'd be happy enough today now.
Thankfully, he's not your next guest.
No. Well, actually, Louise, joining us live from. Although he's grumpy today because the Democrats had a very good day at the office yesterday, as you know, in the mayoralty of New York, and then on to were they governors, gubernatorials?
Gubernatorial.
Yeah, in Virginia and elsewhere. So he won't be too happy about that today. You've got Muggins and Charlie in your life.
I do.
What class of dogs are they?
Golden Retrievers.
Oh, lovely.
Muggins is named after a dog, a black lab I had growing up, just the loveliest female lab. And so, and my husband used to name all the dogs before that because he didn't want dogs. And I said, "You're wrong. You want dogs."
I know someone like this.
Them.
Yeah. Okay.
And in getting to name them, then he bonded with them, and then he loved them. Yes. But I never got to name one. So Muggins was the first one. So I named her after my childhood dog. Yeah. Only when coming to the UK and bringing her with me did I realize that Muggins means idiot.
It does. Muggins here. This fool. Yeah. So this poor dog is now quite offended.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Well, she's very sensitive.
Yeah.
Charlie less so. That's it. Charlie is a rescue. There's an organization that I've become very involved in called Golden Rescue. But who knew golden retrievers need rescuing? Yeah. But they do, all from Cyprus, from parts of Greece, from Istanbul.
But sorry, Louise, as your books will tell you, we all on occasion need a bit of rescuing. No.
Oh yeah, what a nice thing to say.
No, but
that's right.
True.
And we're all a little broken.
That's
and we
why
all need
I
healing.
find these books are like a balm. That's the truth of the matter. This is The Black Wolf. This is your 20th. Congratulations.
Thank
I'm
you.
urging anyone who if you're enjoying this conversation, go start at the beginning with Still Life, and you're in for just a treat. And some days I wish I hadn't read them so I could read them from the beginning again. Lisa Josette was our guest here not too long ago, by the way. She said she was a friend of yours. We took a picture together, so we must do another one.
I have it on my phone, and her book,
Yes.
The Finest Hotel in Kabul, is outstanding. When I'm asked what book I would recommend, that's the book I recommend.
Okay, the Canadian mafia, in a manner of speaking,
Yeah, we're
literary
taking over
mafia.
one book at a time.
Louise Penny, you know how much I love you. You're brilliant. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you.
soon.
Hi, Claire.
Virgin Radio.